early Friday morning, blimey. Been a indifferent few days. Sorry, I've not really, I can't even remember really where I got to in terms of posting and videos and stuff. Yeah, a bit of a high and low week. Managed to score a really nice client for the printing business, which was great. Someone we've been after a long time and really like their work, so that's awesome. I managed to get that, but at the same time I had a really bad interaction. Bear with me 1 second. Really bad interaction with a customer. Sad thing is, basically last year, March last year, I lost my dad to cancer. Should have had, I got the diagnosis on New Year's Eve of all days, and yeah, they said they gave him like a year, maybe a bit more, but they said with chemo they could extend it, and unfortunately, because he had an underlying liver condition, the chemotherapy just made that worse, and he only lasted until March, and he died in March. And this interaction with his customer this week, just we had another bereavement in March this year. Sorry, not in March, but during COVID this year. And when that happened, because there was a lot of similarities, and also because it was a member of the family, people were like, oh, you know, at least you managed to get to this, at least you managed to get to that. Like my stepson got married last year, but unfortunately my dad didn't make it, but this lady did, and it just transported me back to when my dad passed away. And you know, we were very tight. We had our ups and downs, like, you know, like a lot of families do, but if I needed advice or to talk, get stuff off my chest, wherever, I went to my dad. And obviously not having that in these last years, plus I mean I'm only 43. I wasn't expecting to lose a parent, you know, now, you know, so it's all of it, you know, all the big shock, and this death this year really affected me badly, took me back. Obviously at the time, you know, you're trying to stay strong for him, my mum, and trying to help my sisters, and you know, my kids and stuff, and it just, I don't know, I didn't really take any time, I guess, to deal with it. So when this other death happened this year, it just took me straight back, and I was struggling for a while, and it just affected everything, my mindset, my motivation. I mean, you know, phone repairs, I mean, you know, just trivial. When somebody dies, I mean, when you lose somebody like that, or anyone, you know, I find it really difficult to kind of then focus on the sort of mundane. You know, those things don't really kind of help me get back. I just get a little bit lost in the gravity of the situation. So anyway, yeah, so we lost somebody in during the COVID break, and I went off the rails a touch, not like mental, but you know, my motivation and work, and you know, I guess I just got a bit depressed, I think, and it affected a few jobs. And I just had a customer just having a go at me, really, for saying that having a bereavement wasn't a good enough idea, a good enough excuse, and that you know, and it's in some ways true. You know, I mean, I have responsibility to my customers, and you know, I let a few people down, and you know, I'm still not really 100%. I'm still not really feeling kind of the whole thing. I'm still in a bit of a funk when it comes to like what's important and stuff. Obviously, it's changed a lot of things because my mum's now on her own, and you know, my dad did most of the stuff there, and so you know, a lot of that now falls on me, and you know, which is again is fine, but you know, we've got 2 and a bit businesses on the go, and you know, lots of family and lots of travelling we want to do, and it's just, you know, it's a tough balance to strike. So it's just been it just made me stop and think this week, and just think, you know, it's not, I don't know, it's not unacceptable that you've had a bit of a wobble, you know, with what's gone on. You know, at the end of the day, I understand any bereavement is significant. You know, there's a difference between obviously a great aunt or an uncle or somebody you've never seen in the last 20 years to losing your dad, and that I guess I didn't appreciate how hard it hit me. The end of his life was difficult as well. You know, he was always a very big, strong man, and at the end of his life he was reduced to, you know, very frail and very thin and very just made him look really old. And so yeah, it was a tough time for everybody, and it's, you know, it's just this interaction. I was filled with all sorts of emotions, just like, you know, full of anger, full of, you know, how dare you tell me how to grieve and stuff like that, to then like guilt for the way I've been treating people and acting, and yeah, just lots of mixed emotions. It's been a tough week emotionally. It's really affected me. You know, we landed this big customer, which was great news, but obviously there's a few complications there as well. And I don't know, just the edge taken off it a little bit. It's just been a shit week really with things like that. You know, I always try and do a good job with my work, and the whole reason I set up my own business was because I was fed up of having my sort of hands tied when I was working for somebody, and doing, when it came to doing the right thing, I had to do the corporate thing. Third instead of fifth. I had to do the corporate thing instead of necessarily the right thing, and that used to wind me up all the time. You know, we were the company I was at was always about, you know, the customers at the heart of everything we do, and that wasn't necessarily true. So, you know, yeah, it was just, I don't know. Anyway, so the plan this weekend was to do a bit more work on vans and stuff, but obviously, as you can probably see by the weather, and I'm sure it's probably the same where you are, it's going to look like it's going to be a horrible wet weekend. Been driving Patsy most of the week. She seems to be driving fine, although unfortunately she's developed a slow puncher in the tyres, which were also a little bit cracked. So because they've been sat around for a while, they're going to get 2 new tyres put on the front on Monday. The 2 rears look alright, there's no cracks in those, they look good. So we'll get that all done, and then she should basically then be sort of back and available. I've been agonising all week if I should sell Velma, the crew cab, and put that money into a more, I don't know, another camper probably that would give me more of a return for the camper van hire. Although Velma is like, you know, she'd probably make a great ambassador for the business, but I don't know. We've got a few options on her, so we'll see. I don't need to really make a decision quickly. I just, again, I don't know, I just felt it was a little bit of a, what's the word? I don't know really, but something I didn't really need anyway, and I could probably get rid of and use that money a bit better, but at the moment she can just stay where she is. So we're looking for some inside, indoor sort of storage. I'm hoping that where I rent my office, they might have something, but it would be nice to be able to just drive the bus in, do a bit of work and then leave. Because obviously I've got a fair bit of body work to do on Patsy, and you know, this weather is not exactly conducive to good body work or good drying times. So we'll see in terms of how that comes out. Subscribe back to Ash Pollard this week on Patreon. Had a few mixed feelings about that when he left YouTube, but you know, it makes total sense now really when you look at it. I mean, he's now got a community of people that, you know, want to sort of like a pro Ash, if you know what I mean. They want to listen to what he's got to say and watch the videos he does, and yeah, it must give him so much sort of creative freedom to not have to worry about the inevitable trolls that come on YouTube. So yeah, signed back up for him, and I think we've got 1 video left, which was out on Tuesday, to catch up, and then we're up to date. Oh man, I wish I was doing what he was doing. I'd love to have that sort of freedom to say, right, I'm doing what we're going. But obviously, you know, I've got children and businesses to look after, so it's just a bit different, I suppose, in terms of responsibility. But yeah, what a great life. Awesome scenes. We got a little taste of that. We had our little break last week, and yeah, it really opened my eyes to our wild camping thing, and just the freedom of travel, and you know, no plans, and it's just a totally different type of break when you're kind of just letting things go. You know, you're not worried about where you got to be, or next campsite, or you've got to be back at this time, or any of that stuff. You just go where you want, find a nice spot, park up, and yeah, all good. So yeah, really happy with it. It was really great to see him back. I didn't realise how much I missed his content, but he's one of the, you know, one of our favourites in terms of YouTube. Sad that unfortunately that well, I say sad, I mean they're disappearing. They came down south, didn't they? I don't know if you watched it, but basically they came down south to see CJ and Project Amber, and had a little meet up there to say goodbye, because obviously not going to see him for a while. And they were literally like 2 minutes from my office and 5 minutes from my house, in a lovely location that we are blessed with, that will be closed off actually shortly because of the winter weather coming, so they'll close it off to protect it. But yeah, shame it was just like, you know, having them that close and not really. It just, that was a weird feeling. But yeah, good luck to Ash and Marie, and we're away, and while they're on their trip, I hope they have a great time. It looks like some awesome scenery, and hopefully the COVID situation allows them to stay doing what they're doing. So yeah, so I think the weekend we might catch up on some printing work. I've got a few samples to get out and some stuff to get ready for this new client. As the weather's going to be dog, we might end up just being in there for the weekend. We'll see. We were going to paint the whole way, but that's not really appealing either. So we'll just see how we get on. Yeah, as I say, don't ignore your feelings and your mental health. You know what I mean? It's because it will catch up with you at some point. And then when it does, it can be worse than it was.